Yes, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. It's down there, folks. And there's a link to my book as well. Also, I take requests, and today I'm answering a request. You just put it in comments down below and ask me if there's anything specifically that you would like me to speak about. And today I've been answering a request from a man called, just give me a second here, I'll see it. His name's... Lee Davis. Lee Davis has asked me to speak about a criminal, a first-rate thug and a murderer, a drug-dealing gang chief from the area of England called Nottingham. This man is called COLIN GUNN. Now, COLIN GUNN is a first-rate crook. What does he think about? I think he thinks about being in a prison cell because he's in HMP BELMARSH, banged up in the seg. Let me show you a picture of this handsome chap. There you are. There we go. That's where is he? Come on. That's there, isn't it? Yeah, I think we can see that, can we? Oh, there he is. Yeah, there we have it. COLIN GUNN. Yeah. You can probably just about make that out, can you? Let me see. Yeah, there we are. COLIN GUNN. There we are. Not a very clear image, but it's on my phone. Yeah, you get the idea. Anyway, that's him, COLIN GUNN. Yeah, now COLIN GUNN is serving life sentence with a minimum term of 35 years. Now, that is serious shit, is it not? And he was running a gang, no doubt a drug-dealing gang, in the area of England around Nottingham, known as a notorious gang leader, and he set out on a revenge murder, and he conspired to murder John and Joan Sterland, who one of their relatives was responsible for the death of his nephew's friend, which led to the death of his nephew, Jamie Gunn, who died at the age of 19 in the year 2004. But they didn't kill Jamie Gunn. He died of pneumonia following alcohol and drugs and all the rest of it. But that was after he witnessed the shooting and killing of his best friend, Marvin Bradshaw, which was a murder committed by relatives of Joan Sterland and her husband. Yeah. The killing was actually carried out by a man called Michael O'Brien, who was subsequently jailed for life. But they became the targets of a revenge attack. The Sterlands became targeted by COLIN GUNN, and they were initially put under the protection of the police and taken to a safe house, but they eventually got tired of that and decided they would try and live in a bungalow in a place called Trusthorpe, which is near Nottingham. But COLIN GUNN and his team of hoodlums decided they were going to kill them, and Mr. and Mrs. Sterland phoned the police to say there were people outside their home. The police didn't respond until 9:30 that evening, when they went to the house and found John and Joan Sterland dead. They'd been shot by hitmen sent by COLIN GUNN, and he was subsequently convicted of organising their murder, sentenced to imprisonment, and with a minimum of 35 years. He was moved to HMP BELMARSH. Now, BELMARSH is quite a notorious prison, and from what I understand, is when he was in BELMARSH prison, COLIN GUNN decided he was a tough guy and decided to take on the system. COLIN GUNN came second and found himself in the segregation unit of HMP BELMARSH, banged up inside the block in BELMARSH. And I'm sure that he really didn't like that, because he subsequently lodged a case. I mean, where did he get this money from? I mean, obviously he got it from legal aid. So he used the legal aid system to attempt to get a hearing at the Court of Human Rights, where he claimed that he had his human rights violated by being moved to a prison within a prison. That was after the prison staff decided that they'd had information that he was planning an escape. Well, he didn't escape from HMP BELMARSH. He's still there, and this two-bit crook, this hoodlum, this low-life gangster, Colin Gunn, is still banged up in the prison system and enjoying his time in a prison within a prison. And he's obviously has been an extremely dangerous man. Over time, he will change. I've seen it happen many times. You see, what happens, these two-bit hoodlums, a bit like a Nottinghamshire version of Dominic Noonan. They really do imagine, for some unknown reason, that they are tough guys. And because they're tough guys, I mean, obviously he's going to be intellectually challenged, isn't he? He's going to be slightly IQ of about 90, I would think. A fairly dumbass, you know. But because he's a big, powerful thug, he managed to take control of a gang of like-minded nonsense characters and set about extorting money and dabbling in drug dealing and subsequently murder, where he ended up being imprisoned. What happens to these people? Listen, I tell you, they come into prison a bit like the Black Panther. You know who the Black Panther is, yeah. They come into prison and they're doing all this bodybuilding and weightlifting and press-ups and sit-ups and, make themselves look like tough guys. I've seen them come and I've seen them go. And what happens is, over a period of time, they slowly come to the realization that nobody gives a flying shit about them and that they're banged up in there, and effectively the keys have been thrown away because they are not getting out. And if needs be, they will be held in the segregation unit, or otherwise known as the block, and held there until they amend their behaviour. Some of them amend their behaviour over a period of years. Some it takes quite a long time. But my experience of people like Colin Gunn is that as they progress through the system, their physical health deteriorates and they become shambling, drug-addicted wrecks who are dealt with by the system and forcibly injected with psychotropic drugs to curtail their aggressive nature and quieten them down. And eventually they slowly deteriorate to the point where they become ineffectual, and then they're returned to normal location where they become victims of their own notoriety. So, Colin Gunn, you've got a lot to look forward to, you shithouse, you murdering bastard, stuck in the seg. Get on with it. Nobody gives a flying one about you. You're an absolute nobody. And Lee Davis, I hope that suits your purpose of asking me to talk about a low-life character like Colin Gunn, because he is a nobody, was a nobody, and is now occupying a cell in solitary confinement. And I say, bollocks to him, let him rest in peace there indefinitely until he disintegrates into a shambling wreck. Sad, isn't it? There are people like that, but there are, and society has to deal with them. I mean, that's what prisons really are for. They're not for putting in people who don't pay their television licence or fail to pay a fine for motoring or whatever. That's not what prison is for. And it's time that they stopped putting people into prison for minor offences. That isn't going to serve any purpose whatsoever. And now it's that time of day, folks. I am going to read you a poem by Sir Henry Wotton. This is, I believe this is a very good poem. It's called The Character of a Happy Life. And I try to subscribe to this kind of belief. The Character of a Happy Life by Sir Henry Wotton. Are you sitting comfortably? Catherine Smith, who lives in the back end of Beyond. Yeah, how are you doing, Catherine? Thanks for your kind comments, and give my regards to your dad. And tell him thank you for his kind comments on my book. Proofread my book for me. That's the next book, Part 3 of HMP Manchester Prison Officer, which deals with my time as in the hospital service. And I should tell you that shortly after I left the prisons, the hospital service was disbanded. They removed all the hospital staff and replaced them with the NHS, so that prison inmates are actually treated by qualified staff and not prison officers who have done a 12-week training course and then handed a syringe and set loose on the prison inmates, which was part of my evidence at the Crown Court when I stood up in defence of the rioters at HMP Manchester when they tore the roof off and burnt that monster down. This is the character of a happy life. How happy is he born and taught that serveth not another's will, whose amount in his honest thought and simple truth is utmost skill, whose passions not his masters are, whose soul is still prepared for death, untied by the world, by care of public fame or private breath, who envies not that chance doth rise, nor vice, who never understood how deepest wounds are given by praise, nor rules of state, but rules of good, who hath his life from rumours freed, whose conscience is his strong retreat, whose state can neither flatterers feed, nor ruin make accusers great, who God doth late and early pray more of his grace than gifts to lead, and entertains the harmless day with a well-chosen book or friend. This man is freed from servile bands of hope to rise or fear to fall, lord of himself, though not of lands, and having nothing, yet hath it all. The Character of a Happy Life. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do like and subscribe. Thank you.